Hi, I'm Aaron with Northwest RepRap, and this is the first assembly video for the RepRap Prusa i3. And for this video, we're going to assemble the bottom section of the frame. And so for that, this is everything that you need. You'll need the 357mm M8 smooth rods, the M10 threaded rods, and the M8 threaded rods. You'll need the Y-axis corners, the Y drivetrain pieces, the M10 nuts, M10 fender washers, M10 washers, the M8 nuts and M8 washers, and you'll also need one M4 nut, regular nut. Okay, let's get started. The first thing that you want to do, and I recommend doing this now because it's a lot easier to do this now than when this part is installed on the frame, is you need to install the M4 nut. And that goes in this section here. Now you might actually have to break some of this out. I can't remember exactly where the support material was located on this part before I cleaned it up, but there might be some support material in here that you'll have to clean out. But you'll see this is the Y drivetrain that holds the bearing for the Y-axis belt. And so the nut slides right in here on the end. You might need to grab a pair of pliers or something like that to push it in. So just take some pliers and push it in. And just look through the top, or look through the side here, and see if you can see that that the hole is lined up with the nut. In this case it is. So that looks pretty good. Okay. Let's get started on the front of the frame. For the bottom section of the front, you'll need one M8 nut on both sides. And then for the top part of the front of the frame, you'll need to put an M8 nut about halfway down. And then the washer. And then the Y drivetrain piece, which goes on like this through the side where the large hole is located. And then another washer, and then another nut. And for right now, we're just going to tighten these with our fingers. We don't need to use tools yet, since this will need to be aligned later with the belt. Okay. And then a nut on either side, just like the bottom section. Okay, and now we can install two of the corner pieces. Now these corner pieces have a flat side and then two small holes on one side and then a large hole on the other side. And then on the top it has a slot for the smooth rod to drop into. And you'll notice that there's an end side and an open side, a closed side and an open side. So you want to make sure that the open side is going towards the rear of the RepRap. So we put two washers on here, and then put the bottom through the bottom hole and the top through the top hole, like that. And for right now, when you tighten this, just make sure that that the end of the threaded rod is about flush with the end of the nut. So you can just sort of feel that with your finger. Just make sure it's about flush and then tighten it. Just finger tight for now. Do that to both the top and the bottom here. Okay. So just make those about flush. And again, with this side, we want the closed side of the top on this side, and the open side towards the back, or towards the back of the rip wrap. 2 washers. Don't forget the washers. And 2 washers on the outside. And same on this side, you want the threaded rod to be about flush with the end of the nut on both the top and the bottom. Just finger tight. Okay, and that takes care of the front section. Next we can build the back. The top and bottom, take a nut about halfway down, or, well, yeah, for right now that's fine. 1 washer. Okay, and then this Y drivetrain is the part that holds the motor, and you'll notice that there's 2 large holes which attach to the frame, and the 2 small holes are for the motor. And the way that you want this installed is you want the motor mounted on the inside of the frame. So the small holes will go on the inside, the large holes will go on the outside. So the top goes in here, and the bottom goes in here. It's like that. And this will be the inside. Those don't have to be really tight at all for right now. And then nuts on the outside of these to mount to the corner pieces. Washers. Okay, now since this side is the inside, you want to make sure that when you put on the corner pieces that the open side of the top is facing the same direction this is. Like that. And same on this, just make sure that these are about flush, just by feeling them. Tighten it. And this, the other corner goes the same direction. The open side goes towards the front. Again, just make sure that it feels about flush, and then just finger tight is good for now. Okay. All right, so there's the rear. Put it over here, and here's the front. And so next we can install the M10 rods. And for these, each side takes a one nut about maybe 1/4 the way down, and then 2 fender washers, and then 1 more nut to hold those in place for right now. And then 1 nut on the end to mount to the corner, and another one on the other end to mount to the corner. Okay, undo the other one. Same thing. About 1/4 the way down. 2 fender washers. And then a nut. And 1 nut on the end here. And another here. Okay. And now the side with the fender washers is going to be the rear of the rep wrap. So and put washers on the ends of all of these, or just this end, these ends, and then place them in the large holes, and put washers on the ends. And then a nut. And just like with the M8 threaded rods, these need to be about flush. The rods need to be about flush with the end of the nut, and just finger tight is fine. Remember, the motor mount is the rear, so you want the fenders back here with it. All right. And remember too that you want the open side of the top of the corner pieces to face the rear of the rep wrap on this side. Everything's just finger tight for right now, until we assemble the Y axis. Which will be in the next video. Okay, and now we can go ahead and put these in. We'll need to put bearings on these, but just for right now, you can place them in there. And that takes care of the lower frame section of the Prusa i3. Now, you might notice in the video that these rods don't look like they're long enough. They look like they can actually slosh around in here a little bit. Now, technically, a little bit of sloshing around will be just fine, because this is the direction that the Y carriage will be traveling in anyway, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. But the reason why these are sloshing around is because I cut these rods based on some specifications that I found on the internet, and they ended up a little short. I've made a change to our bill of materials, and I'll make sure that I cut these a little bit longer. But anyway, that takes care of it. In the next video, we're going to get started on the Y axis, and that'll be the Y axis aluminum bed plate and the belts and everything like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the series. I'm looking forward to getting this built, and I hope you're having fun. Thanks for watching.